Greetings, everyone. Yasamika here from Being Human. Perception. Everyone has their own perception, and it is their truth, so it must be honoured. However, because of the different perception, we have different levels of perception and reality. I'll take you through the different levels just so you understand what the heck's going on in this world. I'll show you. First of all, we've got the physical reality, which is known as the conscious mind and is known as 3D. And what 3D means, height, which is one dimension, width, which is another dimension, and depth, which is another dimension. So these people here, and while we're alive in a physical body, here's something, we operate in the 3D. This is a solid reality, okay? Now, when we perceive life down here, our consciousness is kept in a physical way. And what they think about, and I've written these down just so I can remember most of them. First of all, these people down here will talk about the weather because it's physical. Okay? Talk about the weather, and they're really good at talking about money because this is part of this reality. Yeah, there's a lot of energy goes on in this level of consciousness, and it's passed from one to another through money. Okay? If you have money or material gain, and it's funny, even in this reality, everyone's usually trying to go up, more money, more material gain, new car, new house, new add-on, all this kind of stuff. That's in this layer of consciousness. Oh, sport and leisure. Talk about sport and leisure. What do you do in an out reality? What do you do for sport? What team are you supporting? Who do you follow? It's all third dimensional, okay? Politics. What side of the fence are you on? Who are you following? What do you believe in? That's down here. Social reality. What do you do in your social reality? Where do you go? Who do you meet? And of course, when you go into a social reality, you're looking at alcohol and you're looking at mind-altering substances. This keeps us all down here, okay? Of course, we've got family connections, who you're related to, how that fits there and that fits there, and who do you belong to, and all that comes down that lineage. Third dimension, okay? Health. It's a biggie. Compare scars. What illnesses have you had? What do you got now? Got to be careful. In this reality, fear is a biggie because fear keeps us down. We're all fearful of our health because somewhere along the line, we're going to pass over. And heavens know what's happened when that goes. That's the end of it. So health is a biggie. And of course, sex. In the porn industry, it's massive. This is down here in the conscious mind. Okay. Food. Well, over the last few years, how big has food been on TV? There's food TV channels, there's food programs, food's massive, all the different kinds of foods. That's down here. So you can talk about food. If you're in a particular culture, which most people are, you can talk about what your culture is doing. Where is it in this scheme of things now? Is it a minority? Is it a majority? What can we do? Sometimes there's rebellion in there. Sometimes people are happy in their culture. That's talking down here and acting down here. People in this level of consciousness talk about those kinds of things, and that's how they perceive life. Okay? Now, that's in the third dimension. Better put up our fourth dimension here. Get out our fourth dimensional being. Yelena, this is our solid form, which is the people down here. Then we get into our spirit form, which is our fourth dimension. So we're heading up here. This is third, this is fourth dimensional, emotional body, mental body, and this is our astral body and astral layer. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers, Jelena. Magic, magic. There's another layer of consciousness which is finer, non-physical, spiritual, fourth dimension. In here, we have got things like ghosts, past lives, fairies, spiritual things like mermaids, forest beings, fire beings, elements. They're in here. And psychics and mediums, because when we pass over from down there, when we rest in peace, we can go from down in this layer up here into the fourth D. This never dies. The physical layer of us in our earth suit will die, but not this. This keeps going. So people down here are usually afraid of dying or passing over because if their mindset is stuck in the third dimension, they have no idea this layer exists. So there's a fear built up. It's like, oh, this is the end. I'm going to miss everyone. But the point is, all the relatives and the friends who've passed over before you, they all live up on this layer and you will meet them. They will come and greet you. They'll welcome you back to the fourth dimension. Because when there's a child, the spirit of the child comes down from the fourth dimension. So when you get a child, there you go, you still up there. Babies, this is their familiarity. This is where they come from. So when a baby comes down into the third dimension, they do not see much physicality. They see blurs because they're used to living in this reality. That's why babies look around the outside of your head and they'll look somewhere else and they'll smile because they are actually, while they're in physical form, they can still perceive and see and participate and communicate with fourth dimensional beings. Grandma, who has passed away. However, if the if the people are conditioned and programmed to block out this level of consciousness, they will only live and perceive the third dimensional reality. And none of this is visible within their mind or within their perception. So when you talk to a person in the third dimension, they will talk about the basics, the weather, the sport, the health, how much money you're making, what's the latest purchase, because that's all they perceive. And that's all they are allowed to perceive. However, we go up into the fourth dimension. Now, this fourth dimension is sliced into 12 layers. This is just not one layer. This is 12 layers. So we can have earth plane souls, earth walkers, etherics, ghosts. They're up here. They're in the bottom part of this. So they're just on this layer. So that half third dimensional, but they have not gone up far enough in the fourth dimension to go to where all the ancestors are, which is about halfway up in the fourth dimension. We've got this fourth dimension, and this is the dimension of spirit, because this is a spiritual realm. And this is also the subconscious realm or the subconscious world. So down here, we have got the conscious mind, and up here, we have the subconscious mind because it's in another dimension. So that's all happening here. The only time people down here may allow this world to be real is in a virtual reality, like let's say in the movies. They might go to a movie and it will have ghosts and spooks and freaky things in there, and they will allow it to that degree. There'll be a good, healthy layer of fear of, oh, I do not want to go there, but perhaps I can see it in a movie. That will be down there. Depending on how expanded the movie is, seeing it's a movie, the third dimensional mind people will allow it into their perception. They go, oh, wow, that's pretty tricky. I can remember when Star Wars first came out. Whoa! People down here loved it, especially the cosmic people, because they could relate to it. It was like, wow, I know this world. This is my home. This is where I come from. Because the third dimensional people inside of their being have a cosmic element to them. Anyway, this is the fourth D. So then we go up another layer, right? And we go up to the flame layer. Now, the flame layer is fifth dimension. This one's third, this one's fourth, and this is the beginning of the fifth. This one is the conscious mind. This one is the subconscious mind. This one here. And this one here is the superconscious mind. This one here is the reality of the Holy Spirit. This one's the spirit, which is fourth dimensional. This one is the Holy Spirit, which the holy part of it means it's got more light. It's less dense again, and you've lifted up into another layer. These are all happening at the same time, by the way. So in here, it is sometimes known as the Golden Way, because of course the flame's white gold. So this is the Golden Way, the super consciousness, the divine reality, the holy reality. And all that means is that you're going to become more your authentic self. It is unnecessary to join a dogma or a consciousness franchise to actually be in this reality. That's a conditioning in itself, okay? You can just be you, however, in the thinking in the fifth dimension. So that's in that reality. There are certain things that live in here. There's people known as the masters who actually have lived down here and have worked their way up in consciousness to understand, oh, there's a layer here, and that's where the spirits hang out, and there's other spirits, and they have evolved to this layer, which is the holy layer. So quite often these beings here are perceived as divine. Now, you go inside of that layer. I really need to be an octopus here. And the next layer up from the flame is an opalescent egg. And this is known as the universal consciousness. Interesting that it's an egg, because we evolve into, say, egg consciousness. Easter. This is known as the Shekinah, and it can also be known as the Sophia. This is a feminine universe, the next layer up. You'll meet some people who perceive life up here in a universal way, because this is universal consciousness. It takes on board everything that's happening in the flame, super consciousness reality. It takes on board everything that's happening in the spiritual reality, in the fourth D, and they still have to chop wood, enlightenment, chop wood, because we live down here. We still have to survive in the third dimensional reality. You go inside here and you go higher again, and inside our universe, we have a gold star, and this is the outside layer of our soul. So that's floating around in that layer, okay? Then you go, wow, I need to go inside of this. So that means you have to go higher. So the next layer up, dun, 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 inside our gold star are our planetary mind and our cosmic mind. Now, these are up here because they're inside the flame. So therefore, they're another higher consciousness. They help make up the flame, which helps to make up the spirit, which helps to make up the third dimension. You'll hear me talk about cosmic and planetary consciousness. It's up here inside our gold star. So you go, okay, so cosmic people, like quite often like science fiction movies, they understand to the best of their ability extraterrestrial consciousness. So these people have definitely got ET in their matrix, intergalactic thoughts in their matrix, and they like electricity, and there's a whole raft of things these beings like. They really like screens. So at the moment, with the computers and the phones and the devices going around, it really suits cosmic people. Then over here, while you're floating around in your universe, which is this one here, I'd like to be able to live on a planet, please. Okay, so here's your planetary consciousness. These people are more grounded. They'll tend to like nature more. They'll enjoy the natural reality. Cosmic people like things to be refined. Planetary people like things to be as organic and natural as possible. These people like trying to be as natural as possible. These people like cosmic things. Anyway, so then you got that layer. So that's happening up here. And then above that, this is all happening at once, all right? And above that, there is a celestial realm. So you've got planetary and cosmic down here. Then you've got a celestial realm. And there are human beings connected to this layer of consciousness down here. These people, celestial humans, really have trouble with the density of life in the third dimension. One of the ways, well, they have characteristics, and quite often celestial people have fits and seizures, so they can actually leave their third dimensional body on the ground, and their spirit can lift up, and then other parts will lift up, and then they'll go into their celestial reality, get in touch with home, reconnect with home, and then their celestial body will jump into their soul, which will jump into their spirit, and then which will jump back into their physical being. All this stuff's happening all the time. And it can be tricky because these celestial beings can often be perceived as special needs because they are different. Of course they're different. They come from a different place. Then we go inside our celestial body and we get, this is going up another layer, right? We get into our crystal body. I'll give you a bit of light on there. So this is our crystal body, and our crystal body's up here. I have no idea what dimension this is in. I know that we have one. So the crystal body's up here, and we go into this body's heart, because the heart's really important, and we end up with a shining light through our jewel, our crystal jewel of existence. So we have all these different layers, of perception. This is also known as the I am that I am, the almighty I am presence. Very, very strong. You can see how high it is, okay? So I'll just bring you back down from this layer. So we've got the I am presence, the jewel of existence, crystal heart. Then we'll come down to the crystal body and the crystal world. You know, the Peruvians had crystal skulls for a reason. They symbolize a perception and they symbolize a reality. And this is the reality. Now, you have a look at a skull and you think, oh my God, what the hell's that all about? But in actual fact, it's a really positive, high frequency symbol. So then we'll come down from the crystal, and we're in the celestial. Then we'll come down from the celestial, and we're going to get into our planetary and cosmic consciousness, which is fifth dimension and higher, all right? Then you come down from that and you end up in the Shekinah, which is our universal mind and universal consciousness. You know how you get religions, how they all have their different characteristics, but their bottom line is it's all the same thing. They want to reach a level of attainment, and it's the same thing. They want to be able to talk to their God self or be the God self. That's universal consciousness. That's how it works. So we come down from here and we get down to, I knew this was going to be a busy one. Then we get down to our golden way. And then we get down to the spiritual reality. And then we end up in third dimension. Each one of these layers has their own world, and you can perceive it and understand it. When, first of all, you're aware of it, and then you're going to go, oh, that's how that works. This here, we can, us who live in the third dimension, we are able to still live in the third dimension. And here comes glass again. Still be aware. Awareness is the key. Aware of the fourth dimension, what's happening in the fourth dimension. We can also be aware of the golden way in the soul reality or the Holy Spirit reality. And we can also be aware of universal consciousness, planetary and cosmic consciousness. Then we can go up into celestial consciousness, which is angel material. And then we can go up into crystal consciousness up here. We can hold all these different levels and layers of awareness and perception while living in the third dimensional reality. It's unnecessary to die or to pass over. So to pass over and then go here and here and here and here and here. It's unnecessary. You just learn. And if you hang around here and listen to me in Arania, we talk like this all the time. Dip, 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 all over the place. When we go to a third dimensional gathering, we will speak in a third dimensional way because most people who are in the third dimension have no idea about this layer or that layer or this layer or this layer. And in fact, they do not want to know about it. It makes life too hard, too tricky. I'm unable to handle it. So you bring your consciousness down and you exist in this perception. You may go to a spiritual fair where there's mediums, psychics, healers. That will put you on that layer. You may go to another event which they talk about the eternal flame. They talk about the golden way, the soul destiny, the soul reality. Next minute, you're going to be up here. Then if some bright so-and-so talks about the feminine universe, it's going to be up here. Or if they start talking about cosmic and planetary consciousness, it's going to be up here. And celestial realities up here. And what's the next one? Oh, crystal consciousness is up here. That's how come the worlds change. You'll go meet someone who may be third dimensional and conscious, which is cool. That's their perception, their awareness, and their reality. You might go see another person who believes in fairies. You'll be able to see it. There'll be pictures up on the wall. Might be fairies, there might be a little sculpture, there might be a little mementos around the place. You go, this person here has got a fourth dimensional reality, awareness and perception in there somewhere. Then you go to someone who's got divine stuff going on. And it's really interesting because divine stuff usually is the magenta, the color of magenta, the color of cobalt blue, and white gold. So they'll have sunflowers in their garden. They'll have candles, and there'll be calling cards. You go, wow, this person perceives on this layer of consciousness. I walked into my grandson's place the other day, and he had cosmic pictures. They're all up on the wall. Straight away, I knew what level of consciousness he was at here, because he had spaceships and there's some pretty cool stuff up on the wall. Arania and I understood that his consciousness was cosmic. We can go see other younger people who are more in the garden and more into growing their own things and being planetary and organic. Planetary. We all have different perceptions, and that is our awareness and our truth. And of course, sometimes people will be down here and they might have an epiphany, a vision or something of a different layer. They go, wow, that was interesting. I had a dream. Now, dreams are really interesting. Dreams, we go to sleep. You're busy. You go to sleep and your astral body jumps up into the next layer, into the fourth dimension. That's why they look so cryptic, because they're actually in the fourth dimension where there's no time-space universe. It's less solid. Dreams are in the fourth dimension. These people might be chatting, wakey. Oh, I had a weird dream last night. They are talking about what happened in their fourth dimensional reality while they're asleep. Spirit never sleeps. The soul never sleeps. It's only a human vessel that needs rejuvenation, needs a rest. The spirit's fine. The spirit jumps out when we're asleep and goes for a tiki tour or goes for a burn around the earth and talks to astral beings. And then somewhere along the line, the soul, which is this one here, jumps out of the astral and talks to people on the golden way or the soul level or Holy Spirit level of consciousness. Then they go, okay, had a good chat, better pop back inside the astral mind. Then it's time to wake up. Okay, so the astral minds jump into here, and this person is awake, still with their fourth dimensional body in there, waking up going, I had a dream last night. Wow, that was pretty out there. They might have dreamt of a past life. They might have dreamt of the future. They might have dreamt of the past. Whatever. They may have an emotional issue running at the moment where they're on the edge of the sea, on the beach, say, and there's big waves coming to them. The wave in water is the symbol of emotion. So if this person is going through a big and emotional upheaval, they may have a dream of a big emotional wave coming and washing them off the rocks or washing them off the sea, because that's how that works. We are intermingling all these different layers at the same time. Most people in the third dimensional have no idea. They do not want to go there. Some people are quite happy for the fourth dimensional spirit to turn up, so they'll talk about mediums, they'll go see a clairvoyant, they'll talk about the ancestors, fairies, gnomes, that's all fourth dimensional, right? Then someone will die and they'll say, I saw Jesus. And they go, right. So that means their spirit lifted out of them, and then next minute they saw a being who lives up in the golden way. They may see other holy people and they go, wow. And then all of a sudden that will pop back in. That will go back inside the spirit and that'll go back in here. And the third dimensional person will go, I saw this person with phenomenal golden light around them. I saw this being, male, female, with this huge illumination. That's the difference between the spiritual world and the holy world. It's the illumination. So everything's more illuminated. It's more light. These are happening all the time. And that's how we perceive life. We call ourselves the International Centre of Awareness, because for us, awareness is the most important thing, because you can be aware of the solid world, you can be aware of the fourth dimensional spirit world, you can be aware of the beginning of the fifth dimensional super consciousness golden way, holy world, and all the different worlds inside of it. And you can hold it all together. Yahoo! And all you have to do is be you, whatever that is, or whoever that is. Okay? Well, I'll put this one over here. Thank you. Superconscious, subconscious, conscious. If you have any questions, please drop us a note. I talk about this in our starter pack. If you want to know more on how this works, on our website, Being Human website, there's a starter pack in there. 14 videos with literal backup, which has got an ebook with it to help you understand where you are, what's your operating system, how it works. We are programmed, conditioned to think that this is it. Because while we're here, we're on the bottom layer of the pyramid. There's a whole lot going on up here. If you want to know more, go to the starter pack. That'll help you out. We're here to help your awareness. Some people down here just happy to stay down here. That's cool. Some of the people down here go, wow, I'd like to be aware of what's happening up here. So they might go to a spiritual festival or something like that. Then they go, well, actually, I want to know more about my inner flame, my inner flame, not the flame that's down the building, down the road. So if I want to get in contact with my God self, I have to go there. It feels like I'm a walking temple and I have my own flame. Absolutely. You are your own church. So I need to learn more about that. So their consciousness and awareness and perception, they're trying to stretch it, expand it, so they can get up here. It can be done. This is what I talk about all the time. Well, all the best in your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and your superconscious mind. All the best in your universal mind. up into your planetary and cosmic. Everything in here is down here. It's one of the rules. So when I talk cosmic, electricity, devices, refined food, refined medicine, that's all cosmic. It's happening down here because it's up here. It's cool, man. The whole thing is happening now. Okay, everyone. All the best. Keep in touch. Hey, if you know of anyone who's keen on knowing about our different layers of perception and awareness, share this. It'll do them a world of good if they're ready for it. Okay. Have a goodie. Cheers.